fun is over. I'm going back home. The weather is really nice today. I had 3 layers, and eventually I just walk with t-shirt. Really cold. It wasn't so cold, it wasn't hot burning. And it was a hike just a bit over 1 hour. I did a few breaks here and there. The area was really nice. I was there for the first time. There was a lot of green, a lot of water. They were nice buildings, old fancy buildings. They were new luxury fancy buildings in the middle of park, forest. There were a lot of people. Doing something wrong. I'm looking for a place where there are no people, but it's like I'm just going for the exact opposite. There were a lot of people. It was one of those places that you can call it both a park and a forest. That was one of those times that it made me feel or think that Belgium is so small. It feels like there is no place, there are no humans. But that's not true. It's just I'm not finding the right places. And actually I don't know how to look for them. And the challenge is not just like I want to have places where there are no human, but I also look for places which are legal, where I can go by car and I can park, etc. So I have a few constraints or requirements. There are a lot of apps for a lot of things. Like there is Komoot for hiking. There is Google Maps for navigation. There is even ChatGPT and his friends. But like there are sometimes things that I cannot look for them. Like I don't know the proper tools. I don't know how to even find those tools if they exist even. Like for example, I want to have an app that I could have a filter or something to mark as like, to select as like no human presence. And the map gives me a few options, but of course if there will be a lot of people using this, it's not gonna work. Another one that I remember it was last year, in this last years that I felt the need of, like I would like to have a map or an app that I could, it has all those places or spots that you could have a bit of a view of the sunrise or sunset. I mean, not these touristic spectacular places. I think I did a bit of search and there were such applications or lists on internet, but I'm not looking for them. I'm just looking, for example, the things in the neighborhood or in the maybe in a short drive. And yeah, I couldn't find something, and I even had an idea of building one myself. But I think those are the applications that you need some kind of collective effort. Yeah, but somebody needs to start it, right? And imagine that you could have such an app, and as I mentioned, I'm not talking about those spectacular places. It's just like, okay, there is this spot. If it's just at this time of the year, if you just visit this place, you might have a decent view, like something even during the sunset, after sunset, etc. Yeah, and going back to this no human presence, like I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Like if I find that place, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna do, but it feels like that I'm gonna do something like a toilet business, you know? It's like I feel like I'm gonna do something that I feel ashamed or I feel embarrassed, and I want some privacy. But of course it's not doing the toilet thing, and what it is, I have no idea. And it feels like to find it out, I need to find this place. Of course, it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's just I'm not making enough effort to find it. Another thing, recently I realized there are things that I would like to do, or it feels like that I want to do, and I have the means of it. So for example, let's say like buying a van or something in that way, in that line, or even let's say an apartment. I feel like I want to commit into that direction, and I have the financial means for that, but it's not happening for other reasons. Maybe administrative reasons, maybe social reasons, maybe for being perfection reasons, I don't know. Maybe not finding looking for the right choice, you know, for all those reasons. And it is sad in an ironic way, because to me it feels like there are people who would do these things like in a blink of an eye, like in a month, in a week. It will just happen. They will do it. But the thing is that like they don't have the financial means. I'm sure like there are people now they're dreaming of buying an apartment, and even maybe they already found the apartment they want to buy, or maybe a car, or a dreamy touristic place, or a place they want to visit. Like I'm those things. The decision is already done. This is what they want. But ironically, they don't have the financial means to do it. Like the part they are having problem is that. But on the other side, it's ironic because to me it feels that I have the financial means. Not that I am so rich, but it's just like for those things I could have a starting point. But it's just not happening. And that is sometimes exhausting. Because it's not clear, because it's not happening. Again, it's a problem of different parts. Like it seems there is a part wants to have that, but there is another part or some other parts they don't want to have that. So those are the conflicting issues again that I haven't found a way to bring them together. I think I'm being patient. And probably I'm not gonna be the one who's gonna solve this. I don't know. I'm curious how that's gonna turn out. Like one thing that I'm trying to avoid doing this thing with the roundabout. I don't want to jump in, then regret. But also it's a problem to just wait there because I have something behind me is pushing. It says, go, it's your turn. Or like not it's your turn. Maybe it's not the right time, but just like the thing which is behind me, it's impatient. Doesn't want to wait. And so it becomes a challenge to just sit in between these two extremes. If I wait too long, it's a problem. If I go in the roundabout prematurely, impulsively, that is also wrong. just want life to make that decision for me. It feels it would be easier. This is the same thing like in the previous discussion, right? Like that colleague or a citizen or someone or a child. Not to go through this painful part that I feel like it would be just easier if somebody else did it for me. For example, with the landlord or with whatever, with something that it happens and like I need to get out of the apartment. So like there is no other choice, there is no other way. Like it would be also like yesterday, I was on the highway and the car was low on the battery. I had to find a solution, but the solution was just not somewhere around me or behind me. The highway was just one way. I needed to go forward, and that already gives me a direction. Like I don't have to think if going back would be right thing to do or staying here would be the right thing to do. None of those things that I had to think about, because it's like that is the only thing to do. That is the only thing, and that would be the same. And sometimes I wish that like some thief would just come in my apartment and just rob me, take away everything. Then I wouldn't have to think about how to get rid of those things. The problem is solved. I mean, it could be also, I could invite a thief or someone by my own hands, but that's not okay. That's not gonna work. There, I am making a decision. Like suffering through something like that, it feels it's easier. It would be easier than making a decision and executing that decision. Because in one of them, we have no choice. It happened. There is no way back. The way is just straight. It's forward. But with making a decision and execution, there are possibilities. So your mind is gonna wiggle around, just gonna move around. Was it this way? It's this way? Which one do I want? How do I evaluate it? There are lots of possibilities, lots of good reasons to go this way and the other way. Sometimes similarly, I wish that I would get fired. So I would not have to resign my work, or I would not have to think about changing work. It would just happen, and I would have no other choice. Okay, now that is out of the question, and what you will do. Similar thing was with the relationship. Might be a bit sad to say this, but like I think there were points. There were points that I wished something would happen to that person, and that would be the end of the relationship. Instead of executing the idea of breaking up with them. It's like I think the extremity of these examples or the wishes, these are not Christmas wishes. These are nightmare wishes. The extremity of these wishes shows the difficulty. And actually, it's similarly, there was a point also with my parents. And that, I think, it's an interesting point at the moment. Like, there was a point in my life it felt like I was waiting for them to pass away, so I would be free, so I would do whatever I want. Because as long as they live, they could make demands, you know. They could have their wishes for me. They could have expectations of me. But now, interestingly, that issue, I feel it's resolved, and they are still alive. Like nowadays, when I think about doing anything, nothing comes to my mind from their side. Like, I don't feel any limitations. Like their judgment, their rejection, their mockery, their like underestimation. Nothing. I don't feel that like any of that will prevent me to do something if I want to do something. And in a way, it's funny because that happened, luckily, and they didn't have to die for me to be free from them in that way. Like being free from them doesn't mean that I need to get rid of them. Like they don't have to die, you know. So, and now that I have a few examples, right? Actually, I have all of them. I have all the combinations. So, for example, in a relationship that I couldn't pull the trigger, I couldn't end it. I couldn't end the relationship, and I wished something would happen to that person and it would end. But actually, eventually, it was ended. And nothing happened to them. But the ending came from their side. Let's say it was an initiation from their side. And now looking at the parents' case, that issue is also resolved, but not the way that I wished for. they are still alive and I'm free from them. And I would say that that in some way initiated from my side. Let's put it that way. And now coming back to the apartment and to work. Yeah, so how they are gonna resolve? And actually also in those two examples that I listed, those two cases, both of them were painful. The suffering is there, doesn't matter on which side I am. But also what is different with the work and with the apartment, that they would not be the end of it. In some combinations, for example, I could just move into another apartment. I could rent it or buy it. So that would not be something similar to the other two cases. Like my relationship ended and I don't have another relationship. And with the parents, like that relationship, that dynamic is not there anymore. And I don't have something in the place. But with work and apartment, there could be something. But what it would be, like, it's so unbelievable that when something happens to you, it's sometimes easier than you doing something yourself. Like that is the case with these two examples that I mentioned now. What is also interesting here, like those two things that I just mentioned, they have an emotional component. They're like emotional things. They're not logistical things. They're not physical things. Like the component, the main ingredient there, it's emotional. In a relationship, it's emotional. In a relationship with parents, it's emotional. But with work and with the apartment, it's not emotional. The work, the main work, is logistical. how it feels like when it feels like something emotionally matured, something emotionally developed through those examples. Like here we wouldn't be able to say definitely that like the maturity or development, it happened because those relationships were broken down, or those relationships were broken down because maturity was happening or happened or started. So we don't know which one triggered which one. So it could be hand in hand. But now with physical part, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. What makes this painful? Something is able to project. Like it feels like it knows what needs to be done, or what is the desired case, but it just doesn't have the means to get there yet. Not with parents, but in a relationship, that an approach could be that before that relationship ends completely, something else on the side could start to already like fill the space, or it's like to hold on to something while something else is being released. If this is the right way to do it or not, that's a different thing. With work or with apartment, that kind of thing could also happen. But here, the problem is not emotional. With that setup in the relationship, it's emotional. It's challenging. You cannot just leave something and pick up the other thing. It's like I don't understand how that energy is not coming forward. It's not coming forward.